Hey, welcome to the 24K Life Code podcast. I am your host, Derick Gant. You know, 24K Life is all about how you can go through the fire, right? What's the fire? The fire is limiting beliefs, lack mindsets, procrastination, laziness, self-doubt, negative self-talk, how you can get through the fire, so elevate through that to become the best version of yourself. Now listen, we can't answer every problem. So what we do, what I do, and what the community is about bringing you experts that can help you in areas that we can't. You know, I'm a money guy. We talk about how to get through the limiting beliefs on your money, how to elevate, how to become 24K. You need to know how to do it in so many other areas. So I am bringing in a dude. That's the man. He and I met, we clicked. He's in Arizona, I'm in Ohio, but we still clicked. It was just like click, click. You know, I started telling him stuff he needed to do. He started telling me stuff I need to do. He goes, you're old, but you're kind of in shape. But if you do this, it might be a little better. Now, I don't know him extensively because I don't like to get to know my guest before I interview them so that everything is fresh and new. But Patrick Tromley is here to give us his insights on health and fitness. He has a tremendous story about his transition from traditional corporate America to helping every single person on the planet be better. Patrick?
Thanks for having me, Derick. Great to be here. I'm excited.
Glad to have you.
Let's get it.
I'm glad to have you. Let's get it. So tell us about where you hail from. Tell us about your background. Well, I know you were in the mortgage business. I know you worked for a bank and you were in the 208 market crash, but tell us how you started your professional career.
Sure. So I was born and raised in San Diego, California. Grew up in the mortgage biz. Really, my mom was in it for I don't know how many years, and then I started when I was 14, moving boxes around, doing shipping, that kind of stuff, and worked through high school and college. And then when I graduated college, I went into the sales side, and I was a bank rep. So I represented the bank, and I worked with mortgage brokers to bring in customers to give loans to so they could buy homes. I graduated in 2006. So in 08, 07 and the first part of 08 was killing it, right? Straight out of college, made 7 figures. My first year, thought I was the man.
Right.
Like we all do, right? But Absolutely. Then I got humbled real quick in 2008 when the feds came in and shut down Washington Mutual. And I was kind of left scrambling there. Luckily, I was able to go to another bank, found a position there, worked up, built my business back up because I had to start over again, built my business back up to becoming a top producer, and then ended up getting promoted to regional manager and had the top producing region in the company for about a year and a half. And then the feds came in again and closed that one down too. So 2 closures in about 2.5 years was an interesting way to start my professional career. Right. From there, it kind of bounced around a couple different banks, couldn't find the right fit, and eventually found the right fit again and built my business up again and was able to get back to a top producer again. And then it wasn't fulfilling, right? So I wanted to help people directly. Instead of working with brokers, I wanted to work with the buyers directly. So I went to the direct to buyer side of that, the retail side, and worked with them. Wasn't able to reach that same level of success that I had on the wholesale side. So I started dabbling in investing at the same time to kind of augment or supplement my income there. And did some flips, did some wholesale deals, and kind of cut my teeth there. And then I jumped into it full time because I wasn't getting that traction that I was hoping to get doing loans, helping people buy homes. So I jumped into investing full time. And when I did that, I hired a mentor or a coach because I'd started to learn about self-development as a loan officer. And I really wanted to pursue that more. And
now, was your mom on any of that at all? Was she on personal development, her journey?
Not really. No, she was and she still is, right? She started as a receptionist and worked her way all the way up to running essentially the whole division for the company. So she usually the receptionist is the one that can run everything. Exactly. Right. They're got their fingers in everything. But so that's really how I got into it. She wasn't into too much in it. She would read some books here and there, but She never hired a mentor, never hired a coach, didn't go to seminars, none of that kind of stuff. And so when I started going into doing loans myself, I wanted to get better so that I could be a better communicator, better, more empathetic and feel people's situations. And so my mentor really kind of flipped the script in my head, and a light bulb went off. And it wasn't about chasing that next deal, right? In real estate, it's always about getting that next deal. As soon as the first one closes, boom, you're on to the next one. And that's an endless cycle, and it's really unfulfilling. And after hiring my mentor, he kind of, like I said, he triggered a light bulb or an epiphany. And I realized that it's not about me. It's not about wanting to get that next dollar, that next deal. It's about really being in alignment with your purpose, right? And listening to your conscience and doing what you feel you're called to do. And to me, that's our conscience is the authentic voice of God. That's God speaking to me.
So how did you, and these are really cool questions for people that are, as Batman would call, or Bane would call it, uninitiated. I'm a Batman fan. So for the uninitiated, how did you find a coach, or how did you figure out, hey, I need a mentor or coach. I need to find somebody that can help me along the way?
So I found him, honestly, I found him on Instagram.
Okay.
I've been following him for a while, and he had a crazy story. He did 10 years upstate, ended up coming out a completely different individual, really had a huge mindset shift, and is now, he's been out 5.5 years. He's now making multiple 7 figures a month because of his mindset and the way he teaches and helps people. And his message really clicked with me. It hit home. And so I started following him closer, and then reached out to him and had a conversation. And the way he was speaking was right up my alley. So I committed to him, and that was really what changed my life. He changed my perspective from going after that next deal to being in alignment and going through.
So basically you're saying that you were ready, and when the student is ready, the teacher will come.
Exactly.
So you became more aware of what you were lacking or what you wanted. And when you saw it, it resonated with you, and you gravitated to, you took some action.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. It was perfect timing. Just like you said, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and he showed up, and it was life-changing. Going through his program, really, it opened my eyes to the fact that, like I said, it's not about me. It's about who I need to be for my family. It's about being in alignment, and really being in alignment with your purpose, and making sure that your thoughts, your habits, and your actions are in alignment with what you believe your purpose to be. Because a lot of us have issues, and I was that case, right? I wasn't doing what I knew I should be doing to be in alignment, right? It wasn't a thing for me. So he helped me see that.
No, I get it. So how old are you at this point? Like, are you still young?
38. So this was last year. Yeah.
You said it was last year?
Yep.
That's awesome, bro. That is so cool. So there is another lesson for everybody. It's never too late.
Nope.
Right. And you're still super young. It's never too late, though. I mean, you weren't 20 when you had this epiphany. You were 38, but it's never too late. And you have a family, right?
Yep. Yeah. I have 3 boys and a wife.
All right. So tell me, what percentage of your time do you spend on the real estate, and what percent do you spend on the new thing that you're getting ready to tell us about?
So real estate has taken a backseat. I am not actively investing anymore. When deals come across, so I've built relationships over the years and time.
Right.
And so people still be like, hey, do you want this one? Do you want this one? I'll get emails or texts with new deals. So I'll look at them, but I'm not actively going out. I'm not marketing. I'm not trying to build new relationships. But I am adding to the portfolio. So
all right. So tell us what you are doing right now, since you're not actively doing the real estate.
Sure. So what I'm doing now is I'm helping people go through the exact same thing that I went through. Right. So I've taken the program that I went through with my mentor, and I've modified it slightly to make it more applicable to husbands and dads and people with families, because my mentor doesn't have a family yet. So that was lacking there. So I brought that in, and really for me, it's about helping my clients become the best version of themselves.
Okay.
For their family. Right. And that all starts with fitness and nutrition. That's the foundation for everything. That's the foundation for success in every other aspect of life. If you are unhealthy, if you're unfit, and you have poor habits when it comes to nutrition, that is going to permeate throughout the other facets of your life.
Right. So this concept you call the level up dad, right?
Right.
Okay. So tell us about, I'm a young father, and I catch you on Instagram, and I gravitate to you like you gravitated to your mentor. What can I expect? Like, I mean, I'm having the normal dad issues, time, money,
Sure.
those are the biggest issues, right? Because you need more time to spend with the kids and the wife. You need more money to take care of the family's needs. You're running around with your head cut off. You're trying to figure out shortcuts. What am I going to find in your program that's going to help me be a level up?
Sure. So what we do here is I'll create. Let me back up. We need to understand that this really is a mindset program. It helps your mindset get stronger so that you can overcome life's obstacles. Life is always going to throw hurdles at you. It's going to throw speed bumps, and that's normal.
Life is always going to life.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Life is not easy. Life is not easy. And what we do is we go after the hard path. We attack the hard path so that life is easier, right? We build our mental state up so that when life does throw the roadblock, we're able to overcome it. It's not going to throw us off course. It's not going to push us away from achieving our goals. And really, we start by establishing the baseline of discipline, and that comes with nutrition. So I create a custom nutrition plan depending on the client's goals, right? And we'll tailor that plan to help them build that base level of discipline, because that's it, right? If we can't control what we're putting in our mouth, we got a lot of problems that we need to dial in on. So we start there and we build. And then another aspect of that is going to be a custom training plan or a workout plan. Because when we go through peak physical performance, when we're pushing ourselves hard in the gym or outside or wherever the workout happens, you're going to cause yourself to go into a flow state mentally. And then from that flow state, you're able to attack everything. You feel like you're on top of the world. You feel like there's nothing that's going to deter you. And it allows you to be the best version of you. And you bring that guy or girl back to your family.
Right. And you take them to work.
Right. Exactly. And then you take it to work. Right. Yeah. So it permeates. Like I said, it affects all aspects of your life, work, home, everything. So it's so important to really push ourselves and fuel our bodies with the correct kind of food, the right time of eating, all that kind of stuff is essential that's that foundation I keep talking about.
Okay.
And so we get those custom plans, and then we have daily action items that we do to establish positive habits and build that discipline. And we really work on becoming the best that we can be. Right. And it's all about attacking the hard path to make us stronger physically and mentally.
No, it makes great sense, man. So what comes next? So you get the mind, the body, well, not the mind, but the mind is the whole program. But the first steps are disciplining that fork, that spoon and that fork.
Exactly.
And then you're getting up and you're getting to the gym. You're implementing some other organizational or self-organizational, I'm assuming, tools. How long? I won't ask you what's next. Let me ask you, how long is your program? Is it like a 6-week or 8-week or 2-year program, or is it just day by day?
Honestly, it's a lifelong program, right? Because we're always working to get better. None of us are Jesus that I know of yet, right? So we're not perfect. We have areas that we can get better, and me included. I'm constantly working on getting to that next level across all areas of my life. And so in terms of the broader picture, it's a lifelong process or program.
Okay.
However, specifically what you're asking, I offer 3, 6, and 12-month programs.
Okay.
3 months is going to be the basis, like the minimum for somebody to actually start to feel results physically and mentally. Most people are going to need 6 months to a year to really dial in the nutrition, dial in that body that they're looking to get, and build those positive habits. Because the longer we're disciplined, the easier it is to be disciplined. And then that allows you to jump off to that next level, right? Once you have that discipline, okay, I can do this hard stuff, bring more on. And by attacking that and going after that hard stuff, you may not be conscious of it, but you're leveling up. And that's the whole goal, right?
Absolutely. Now, when we originally spoke, you talked to me, you started to tell me, and I cut you off, to tell me about your transformation, about when you realized, your position as a father and husband and things. And you were like, ooh. So tell me about that. I don't want to put it in question. I want you to tell me about it.
Yeah. So like I said, my mentor really triggered a light bulb going off, and I realized that I was being selfish. I was more focused on myself, how I felt, what I wanted to do, instead of my wife, and not that I was a bad husband, but there's a lot of room for improvement.
Can we go get her so we can ask her her thoughts? I'm joking. I'm just joking. Just teasing.
She would agree. She would agree, definitely, because we've talked about it, and she's commented that I am not 100% different, but I'm significantly different in a good way, right? Like, so now I look for ways to make her life easier. My whole job is to be a servant leader. And that was the change for me, right? It's not about me. It's about who I need to be for my family. And so instead of being a selfish individual concerned about myself, my feelings, what I wanted to do, it's about my family. So my youngest son runs into my office all the time at the end of the day and wants to go to the park. He's like, Dad, let's go to the park. Let's go to the park. So we live walking distance from a park. And before I had this epiphany, we would go sometimes. It depended on how I felt. Right. And when I'd be like, let's maybe not today, you could see him, he'd put his head down and then he'd walk out the door all sad. But that's not a thing for me anymore. If he wants to go to the park, unless it's 115 out, which it can be at times here, we're going to that park, right? So I'm like, get your shoes. And he lights up. It's like, yes, and takes off running to get his shoes. And seeing that difference in reaction lets me know that this is the way that I should be being a father.
Yeah.
It's putting their needs first, right? And it's something as simple as going to the park gives him so much joy. Then I how can I not do that?
No, I agree. But, sometimes we get clouded with the value of responsibility. So we say, I got to make that money. So when your son came in and said, Dad, can we go to the park in the past? And you closed the big deal, you're like, oh yeah, let's go. But if you didn't close the big deal and you're like, I got to pay the electric bill next month and I have to, get the mortgage covered. No, Dad, we can't go right now. Dad's got some more work to do. So it's the value of, the circumstances that dictate where you are. But now you said, okay, I don't value anything above my family.
Exactly.
And I know that if I'm in the right flow state, as you call it, that everything else is going to work out, especially when I'm being a servant leader, because now you go to the park and you meet some other parent and you're talking to some other dad and boom.
Yep. And that's exactly how it happens. And that's because of being in alignment, right? I'm in alignment with my purpose to serve my family, and God brings in your vibe, right? It's a God vibe thing where God brings the people to you that you're supposed to help, I believe.
Right. And I agree with you.
Okay, so perfect. So then by doing this stuff and really pouring in and trying to give as much value and help to everybody, the people that need help show up. And that's what it's all about for me. It's not about making money anymore. It's about how I can have the greatest impact on people and how I can, and really it's not about my clients specifically. It's about how I can help them become the ultimate version for their families. And so I'll get text messages or emails with videos of my clients playing with their kids, and the kids just have this great smile on their face, so excited. And the client's like, I haven't done this in 6 months. This feels amazing. And like it gets me emotional that I'm able to kind of point a couple things out and be like, hey, try this, do this. And when they implement it and you see the impact on their wife and you see the impact on their kids, like that's, to me, that's what it's all about now. And like I stutter when I start to talk about it because it does get me emotional, because it's so vastly different from what I was doing before about chasing the bag, trying to get that dollar and just real materialistic nonsense. Now it's about having impact, a positive impact, and really affecting these people so that they can help and be a great leader for their family.
That is awesome, man.
I love it.
That's a blessing to be able to wake up and really be excited and happy and fulfilled about what you're getting ready to get up and go do.
I love it. I love it. It's instead of waking up like, I got to make 55 phone calls today, call these realtors or call these investors. It's all right, cool. What's on the schedule? Let's get it. Let's go. Let's try and give everybody as much as we can. Let's gas them up. Let's get them fired up so that they can go crush their days. And it's a completely different feeling and mindset. And it's I love it.
Exactly. So before we go, tell me how you build an unbreakable mindset.
So what I've done is I've created a morning process, and I make the process, this is like the linchpin here for everything else. In the morning process, I make it difficult. I get up at 3:15. I have 6 wins by 6 a.m., including the gym. So I do all this stuff in order to, like I said, it's really called stress inoculation. It's kind of a stoic principle, right? You make it harder on yourself on purpose, so that, like I said earlier, so that when life throws a curveball or they throw a hurdle at you, you're already ready for it.
Right.
And it's about going through the hard stuff on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we attack the hard stuff, the more we go after the hard path, the more rewarded we are, and the easier life feels. It may not be easier, but it feels easier because we built that mental strength by getting up early, by following a regimented nutrition plan, by following the training and not missing. When we give ourselves the opportunity to make excuses, then we fall back.
Right.
And so when we have that discipline, right, to adhere to that plan and not miss, I haven't missed my nutrition or my workouts in about 9.5 months.
Wow.
So every single day I hit this, and it's because of who it makes me, right? It's that heightened individual, that next level individual that I can be for my family.
Okay.
And because of that, discipline is easy for me on that, because I see what it does to them and I see how it affects them, and it just adds more fuel to that fire. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Keep going, keep going. And
so
that
when did you have
when did
you have the mindset change? That's not the proper word. Or I'm not framing it the proper way. So let me just say it, and then you can figure it out. So 9 months you've been succinct. Day 1, easy. Day 15, day 35. I mean, when did it become, this is just what I do?
Probably about 2 weeks into it.
Okay. So about day 15,
yeah.
You were like, this is just what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Because right. I was seeing the effects pretty immediately on my family, because it was with that initial phone call or video call that I had with my mentor, where the light bulb went off. It's like, it's not about you, dude. Stop being selfish. It's about who you need to be for them. And I'm like, that makes sense. And then by going through that process, for the first 2 weeks, I was feeling better. I was feeling stronger. I was feeling more mentally prepared, and I could see the effect on my kids. I could see the effect on my wife. Mm-hmm. She was happier. My kids were happier. Everybody had more joy. That the house felt warmer.
I was going to say the whole vibe of the house got lifted.
Oh yeah. It went up significantly. And at that time, I'm like, this is it, right? This is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I need to do. Don't screw it up. Don't give yourself the opportunity to back out. No excuses, none of that nonsense. Double down and go as hard as you can, because there's just a direct correlation or direct connection between me doing all this stuff and my family feeling like this. And like I said, that servant leader, if I can, lift my family up as high as I can, that's what I'm going to do.
Right. That's awesome, bro. Well, I appreciate you taking time to share with me, to share with our 24K Life family. You dropped a lot of good nuggets here. And hold on a second. We'll be right back. All right, fam. You heard it. Now, listen, there's so many little nuggets in there that you can pull out, polish off, that have incredible value. Number one, you have no idea who's going to spark that fire in your life. Treat everybody with the utmost respect, and some of them are going to return that favor, and some are going to return it through someone else. So he said his mentor was locked up, but he changed his life. He got out and he sparked an immense epiphany in his life. He also talked about the value of discipline, right? Discipline, I've told you before personally, but now you hear it from someone else that's a specialist. Discipline is freedom. So consistency, momentum, these are all the nuggets that Patrick was dropping along the way. Now, I encourage you to go check him out. He's the Level Up Dad. He's on Instagram. He'd love to hear from you. Message him, follow him, and ask him how you can level up your life so you can also be a level up dad, level up mom. And from there, your life's going to change. You're going to change. The people around you are going to change. Your environment changes. And man, how easy is it to keep moving forward when everybody's on a good vibration, when the house is good, right? You've heard it, happy wife, happy life. But man, you're happy. It starts here. Then he exposed it to everyone else. And now his sons, his daughters are going to have an expectation for their lives and for the people that they allow in their lives just immensely. So we ask you to like, share, and subscribe. Reach out, follow the Level Up Dad, and know that we're going to continue to bring you amazing insights and information. I'm Derick Gant. I want you to be your best, bring your best, leave nothing to chance.